Hey bitches, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to discuss the waiter from Seattle coming forward and telling us about his time with James Charles. If you have not already seen my previous video about Jeffree Star allegedly parting ways with Sisters Apparel, I am going to place a card in the upper right hand corner as well as a link down in the description. If this is your first time on my channel, hello, welcome, how are you doing? If you could please hit the subscribe button down below, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you are someone who has been here for a day, a week, a month, or a year, welcome back. If you could please make sure you have all of your notifications set to on by clicking the bell icon somewhere on the screen. Please know that everything I speak on in my videos is my own personal opinion, and opinions are not facts, and please do not send any hate to anyone or any brand that I speak on in my videos, because that is not what these are meant for. They are just meant for us to throw a little shade, spill a little tea, and have a messy time here on the internet. On April 19th, 2019, James Charles and Nikita Dragun uploaded a collab video titled, "Talking About Our Ex-Boyfriends with James Charles." In that video, James Charles went into detail about a guy that he met that was a waiter in Seattle who he had a little on and off relationship for a while until the guy ended up telling him he was straight. Well, to everyone's shock, when Tati came out with her Bi Sisters video, she went into detail about the waiter in Seattle and she painted a completely different story. Tati said that James Charles was trying to use his money, fame, and power to manipulate this guy into being with him even though he was straight. Well, the waiter from Seattle has finally come forward and uploaded his first YouTube video where he discussed what exactly went down with James Charles, and he said that he had to come forward because he was talked about in James Charles' video with Nikita as well as in Tati's video. When the waiter uploaded his video, he kept putting it up and then taking it down and then putting it up again, but not before everyone saved it. I myself saved it as well, but the reason that he was taking it down is because at the end of it, he actually had a FaceTime recording with James Charles where they were talking about how James Charles was talking to him and talking to Gage at the same time. Without further ado, please enjoy the waiter from Seattle's video and then we'll talk.
Start off, I've been anonymously mentioned in 2 separate videos, one being the Bi Sister Tati video, and the other being the Nikita Dragun X's video. But today I'm really only going to focus on the Tati video. So in Tati's video, she said she was disgusted by James' actions towards me, the waiter, in a restaurant in Seattle. So I'm about to tell my story, including all the details and direct messages between me and James. To start off, him and about 32 other people all came into the fancy restaurant that I was working in, and they were all there for Tati's birthday. And Tati and her husband came in and they helped set up the big table and everything, so we knew that they were coming. And at that time I really didn't know who James Charles was. I recognized his face, but I didn't know who he was. So when he came in with everyone, it was kind of a big surprise. So when he came into the restaurant, I noticed him and his kind of entourage with Jeffree Star, him, so Jeffree Star, James Charles, and all of Tati's family was there at my restaurant. And throughout the night, James and his friend and everyone, they just kept looking at me, but especially James. And he was looking at me. Later on that night, he started talking to the other employees about me, asking me if I had a Valentine. This was on Valentine's Day, and he kept asking the waiters if I was single and that they thought I was very attractive, or he especially thought that I was very attractive, and he wanted to get my phone number and all that. But the wait staff at my restaurant didn't let that happen. He left and it kind of just went untalked about. The next day, my sister convinced me to direct message James Charles, and I did. We can throw the screenshot up here somewhere in post. I said, "LOL, it's Sam, the busser from John Howie." John Howie's the restaurant that we worked at. He replied with OMFG, and then I replied with LMAO. Then he asked me how I was, and then you can kind of read here, he's like, "Sorry about last night, you're very attractive." And then I responded with, "It's all good," very flattering actually. And he said, "Love that. Did not know you were 19. Oh my god, I am too." We proceeded to talk for a while. It was his last night in Seattle. He actually invited me out to his hotel. At that time, I was bi-curious. I had never done anything with a guy before, and I was curious. Later that night, he invited me out to his hotel room. When I got there, in the video, he said I was brought up by 4 security guards, but in reality, I was brought up by 1 concierge. But besides that, I get to the hotel room, we say hi, it's all fine. We end up watching a movie, and after that movie, he asked to kiss me. And I was very nervous, because I had never done anything with a guy, and I was bi-curious, so I said yes. And we ended up making out for around an hour, and if I'm being honest, he's the worst kisser I've ever kissed. Way too much tongue.
I'm sorry, I had to pause the video right there because when he said that and I watched this for the first time, I honestly started laughing because I have always thought that James Charles had like horse halitosis breath.
Yeah, but besides that, so he didn't want me to leave from the hotel room, and he kept telling me to stay, like, please stay, don't leave me, all this and that, but I really wanted to go home. So I left, and throughout the following weeks, we kept in contact, and my birthday was coming up on the 22nd, and he wanted to fly me out to LA. And that kind of freaked me out, because at that point I was pretty sure I was straight. So I told him in a long text message that I am straight.
That DM conversation goes as follows. Hey, so I took some time to think about it. In all honesty, I'm pretty sure I'm straight. But I really enjoyed talking and getting to know you. And maybe that confused me. I don't want you to think I'm leading you on or using you because I'm pretty sure that's happened to you in the past. If you don't want me to fly down or don't want anything to do with me, I completely understand. But I really have enjoyed getting to know the person that you are. James responded, I guess I'm just a little confused. When I first messaged you asking, you told me you were bisexual right away. Then it turned into you not really knowing. Now it turned into you're straight.
And that if he were to fly me out, I wouldn't think it was right if I wasn't attracted to him. But if he still wanted to fly me out as friends, I gave that as an option to him. So he declined my offer and canceled the flight, and that's when he got really sad and emotional. He took to social media, and his response to me was that he didn't think that I was straight. He told me, "You're not straight." Like, I'll throw up the DM conversation right.
That DM conversation goes as follows. When you're drunk, the truth always comes out. So? Sam responded, not always, but I just wanted to make sure we split on good terms. James responded, yes, always. You're not straight no matter how many times you tell yourself, and I hope you figure that out sooner rather than later. And no, we did not split on good terms. And Sam responded to James with, how do you know that though?
And we kind of stopped talking after that for a little bit, and then he came back to me. He asked me for closure. After he called me for the closure conversation, he offered to fly me out again, and I declined. Because I didn't want to use him for his money or his fame. I felt that that was wrong, and that's what everyone was telling me, that it would have been wrong to go out there if I wasn't actually feeling the same way that he was. So I declined for the second time the trip to LA. He still went on to say he thought I was bisexual or gay and attracted to him when I had told him different. That pretty much went on for a long time until we kind of ended it at, I'm legitimately not feeling anything, please stop talking to me, this and that. So in this screenshot, it shows him telling me how I felt, and luckily I screenshotted it because later on he went on to delete and unsend those messages, knowing he was in the wrong and he was guilty. So those messages in the live conversation aren't there anymore. Not only was he telling me how I felt, telling me that I was bisexual, but he was also at the same time talking to Gage. And I found this out after Gage released his video explaining his side of the story with James. And then I was just done with him. I didn't want to have anything to do with him after that, after finding out that he was kind of playing two straight guys at the same time. So we have footage of him admitting to it on FaceTime that he was in fact talking to me and Gage at the same time. Well, thank you for listening to my side of the story and to hear what I had to say about James Charles. This isn't intended for me to get clout from this video. I don't really care, to be honest. I just wanted to kind of share my side of the story now that everyone's kind of opening up and give some more information to everyone. So thank you for listening. Yeah. This is Sam, and we're out.
Now, in that clip, he did say that he had a video of James Charles on FaceTime saying that he was talking to both Gage and him at the same time. I am going to change the voices and put a picture over it because he has been going around and asking everyone to remove it because he is obviously, like, living in some sort of fear that he's going to get sued by James Charles. So that is the only reason why I'm doing this.
Sure, what's up?
I'm just gonna jump straight into it. So, I just kind of watched the, like, Gage thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of, like, in all honesty, I think you were talking to him at the same time you were talking to me.
Yeah, we were. It's like, why do you care?
It's just, I mean, how would you feel if I was talking to and hanging out with someone else while you were talking to me, right? Like, that's...
You probably were.
No, I wasn't.
You know what I think I'm taking the most away from this situation is that James Charles does not like to be told no. And when he is told no, he gets very upset and he lashes out. But also, I think that James Charles is so desperate to be in a relationship with someone and try to have a partner in this world that he's looking for it in all of the wrong places. I also think that James Charles has a type, and I think his type is himself. Because I remember when the whole Gage story broke, people were like, he looks like a little bit better looking version of James. And now this one, people are saying this guy looks like a little bit more broke down version of James. So I don't know what it is. I think that they were both good looking, but whatever. It does not matter. What is your opinion on what this kid had to say about James Charles in his video? Do you believe his story? Do you think that he shouldn't have made a video at all? Or are you glad that he came forward? Please let me know all of your thoughts and opinions down below. And with that said, I love you guys. Please follow all my social media listed in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.